Hey guys, so today I'm going to be getting into the cream blushes. This is not everything that I have. I do have a lot kind of sitting off on the side. This is just pretty much the first round of products. But if you did miss out on the video where I went through all of my powder blushes, I will go ahead and link that video down below. And I do want to give a very huge thank you to everyone that left me a really sweet comment or suggestion on a blush that you think I should check out or blushes that you're currently loving. I actually saw quite a few of you recommending the Clinique Pop blushes, which I've never even swatched before, so thank you guys so much for recommending that to me. I'm definitely gonna be checking those out this weekend. Yeah, that being said, let's go ahead and get into the cream blushes. Okay, so the first row up here is NYX Blushes, and then I have one little guy over here. Now, NYX Blushes I wanted to start off with because they are by far some of my favorite cream blush formulas in the world. I cannot say that I've ever tried any other cream blush quite like the NYX cream blushes, and I'll go ahead and share why. And also guys, I want to reiterate, in case you're not already aware, these videos are primarily like collection videos slash declutter. So I'm not going through all these products with the intention of getting rid of as much as I can. It's really a very realistic look of me going through my makeup. I do this every year. I just go through my makeup and see if there is anything that I do want to let go of and let you know maybe why I'm keeping something or why I'm letting go of it. That's pretty much the formula of these videos. So I'm sorry if there's any confusion. I know some people watch these thinking that I'm going to get rid of a ton of things, but that's really not the purpose of the video. It's just seeing if there is anything I do want to let go of and giving you some insight as to why. So just want to make that clear. So here is my NYX Blush Collection, and I already know that I want to hold on to every single one of these because I thoroughly enjoy them. Now, the shades that I do have are pretty much mostly neutral colors, and that's one thing that I really appreciate about NYX cream blushes is that the shades are very much like a luxury brand color. Like, they're all really warm nudes and petal pinks, and they just remind me a lot of MAC, like the shade range of blushes that they have. So this first one, which is actually broken, is the shade Tea Rose. And here is what Tea Rose looks like. And I will be swatching all of these out for you guys. Next is the shade I already know. This one, it's Boho Chic, Hot Pink, Natural, which is probably my favorite, most loved blush out of all of them, Rose Petal, and finally the shade Glow. So here's a swatch of all of those colors, and I'm hoping you guys can really see as I move my arm around in the light just how pigmented and creamy in texture these blushes are, and that is why I do love these so much, other than the fact that the shades are all gorgeous. But I love that these are so creamy. They're probably some of the creamiest blushes or cream blushes I have ever tried in my life. Now, they are a little bit heavier in texture, so if you're somebody that doesn't like a heavier type of formula, you may not be a big fan of these, but even as someone that has oily skin like myself, I really like them. I don't feel like they make me look super greasy or oily. A little bit does go a very long way with these, so I really barely dab my finger in them and apply them on my cheeks, and I feel like they deliver really beautiful color. So the first one is Tea Rose, and this is a really nice warm brown mauve shade. It's got a pretty strong brown tone in there. Next is Boho Chic, which is a white-based purple pink color. Next is Hot Pink, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's just like a really intense neon bright pink. Next one is the shade Natural. This is probably my most used favorite shade in the world. I think just amongst all my blushes, period, this is one of my top favorites. It's a really nice neutral warm pink. Really great for all different types of skin tones. It's just a very flattering everyday color. Next to it is the shade Rose Petal. Now, Rose Petal is very similar to Natural. It just has a tiny more bit of a tan shade to it. I'm not sure if you guys can really tell, but it's slightly warmer than Natural. And then the very last shade here is the shade Glow, which is a medium toned bright pink. I am gonna hold on to every single one of these shades because I love them. No declutterings when it comes to my NYX blushes. Okay, so moving into more of the cream compact blushes. This first one I have is the Sonia Kashuk cream blush in the shade Rosy. And there is Rosy there. Now you can see pretty much immediately the texture of this blush is pretty different than the NYX ones. Like the NYX ones are very, very creamy. This one is slightly more of a mousse texture, and it's not because I've had it for a while. It was like this even when I first purchased it. It's a really pretty color. I would describe it as like a coral papaya bright pink shade, really appropriate for the summer. The only thing I really don't like about this is the texture of it. As pretty of a color as it is, I just feel like it looks a little bit drying on the skin. Plus, I really never ever reach for this guy, so I think this one I am probably gonna let go of. Also, I have a few from MAC. This first one is in the shade Something Special. You know, for it being called Something Special, it's really not anything all that special. It's a pretty light, neutral pink type of color. So I actually think I do want to get rid of Something Special as well. Plus the texture of it is kind of weird. This is the only matte cream blush that I own where it's kind of altered in texture like this, where some parts of it are creamy and other parts of it are kind of like dried up and almost kind of hard. So not even sure if this is even good to be used anymore or if it's kind of expired at this point, but I'm really not going to miss this color, to be honest. This next one is the shade Lilla Scent by MAC, and this is stunning. I love it because it's such a unique color. It's sort of like a warm nude, slight hint of pink in there, which I really like. So it's not like a total brown on the cheeks. It's more of, I would say, like a nude with a little hint of pink. To me, this actually would make the most beautiful nude lipstick as well. So I might have to try this on my lips at some point, to be honest, but I really like that one. And then lastly, I have this one by MAC in So Sweet, So Easy. This is just a really bright pink. This is a lot smoother than Something Special. It just kind of glides onto the skin. These are slightly a little bit more lightweight than the NYX ones, which you can see are slightly heavier, but the color is still really, really beautiful. So I am gonna hold on to these two guys from MAC. Now I know this is pretty disgusting looking and beat up, but I'm still gonna hold on to it. It is one of my favorite cream blushes. It's the Sephora Blush Cream in Apricot Sheen. I have no idea if Sephora still makes this blush because Sephora has a way of coming out with things that I fall in love with and then they discontinue them and they never come back. So I don't know if this is permanent. If it is, I may just eventually throw this one out and get a new one, but I've really only had this, I think, for a couple of years, but I love the color of this. And even though it has this big crack in the middle, it's still like pretty smooth, and I don't want to say creamy because the texture of it isn't creamy, but it's still really smooth, like it's not super dry. I think Apricot Sheen is the perfect description of this. It's a warm, dirty peach apricot kind of color, but it has hints of copper and orange running through it. It's kind of like a duochromed blush. It has a little hint of sheen in there, but it's not like a glittery, shiny, make your face look super oily type of finish, which I really love about this. This one I actually do think I want to get rid of. It is the Revlon Cream Blush in Charmed Enchantment, and every time I start decluttering my collection, I try to get rid of this and then somehow it sneaks its way back in. I think just because I don't really use it all that much, but this week I did try to make an effort knowing that I was going to do this video to use it on my cheeks, and I really didn't like it. It just pulls a little too red tone for me on my skin than what I like. The texture of this is not super creamy. It also reminds me a little bit of that Sonia Kashuk blush in that it's kind of a mixture of a gel and a mousse. I do like something a little bit more liquidy or creamy on the skin just because I feel like things that have more of a moussey texture accentuate my pores a little bit more. But yeah, I'm just not a fan of the color on my skin. Swatched out, it's really pretty. I would describe it as a deep rose, but on my cheeks it just looks a little bit too red for me. So that one I think I'm also letting go of. Now this one I know I'm gonna hold on to. It's the Illamasqua Cream Blush in the shade Rude. They are super pigmented, very, very blendable on the skin, and you can see Rude is like a mix of coral and orange. And then similar to that is Stila's Gladiola. And then here's Gladiola right below the shade Rude. And this I would describe as more of a true orange color. It's not too far on the red side though, which is why I really like it. It's just a very true, intense orange. And something I like about the Stila cream blushes versus other formulas is that they're pretty lightweight, but they still provide a good amount of color. Like they're a little bit more silky or gel-like in texture. And then lastly is the shade Peony by Stila. It's just this little mini guy that I got a while ago in some type of Sephora kit, and this is a warm mauve rose kind of color. It has hints of brown in there as well, which I really like, but I do like the formula of Stila cream blushes. I think if you're somebody that doesn't like working with really thick formulas, these are definitely good ones to check out. These next 4 products are actually ones that were sent to me from Mimi Box. These are their Mimi I'm Blusher cream blushes. And I did do a full review and demo on all 4 of these shades. But what's unique about these is that they're actually cream blushes and color correctors in one. So there's a purple shade, there's this like really deep dark red color that's good for canceling out blue or super purple deep dark tones for your under eyes. There's this really nice bright pink peachy color. There's also a lighter creamy color or like neutralizing sort of salmon toned type of corrector slash blush, and then this really pretty violet one. I don't really use this violet one as a corrector that much just because it's a little bit of a deeper purple. I mean, you still could probably use it in certain areas, but for my purple tone correctors, I do like something a little bit lighter and more on the pastel side. So I still like holding on to it just for the sake of having a purple cream blush because it's the only purple one that I do have. Also, I have the shade Tango, which is that dark, deep red color. And this one I think I'm also gonna hold on to, but this one is probably gonna go in my color correcting drawer. This is really good if you have really intense dark under eye circles. It's not something I reach for a lot, but every once in a great while I'll pull this out and play with it, so I do want to hold on to it. I have Cantabile or Cantabile. Someone has corrected me in the past on how to pronounce it, and I'm sorry, I'm not good at pronouncing these products, but I really love this one. This is probably my favorite. It's a really friendly papaya pink, and I say friendly in other words, it's very wearable. Like, it's easy to pop onto the cheeks, it's very bright, but it's not like an intimidating shade to work with. This one, on the other hand, I think I am gonna let go of. This is the shade Pianissimo. And the problem I have with this is that it's just way too light for my skin tone. This is obviously just for a much lighter skin tone than me. It's too light for me as an under eye corrector, and it's just way too light for me as a blush. So that is why I do want to let go of it, though I am a huge fan of the formula for these. Okay, so we are down to the final round of cream or liquid blushes, and this first one is the Sephora Waterproof Perfection Mist Airbrush Blush, and this is in the shade Orange You Glad. I also do have a review and demo on this blush where I tried it out for the first time on camera. I used this one as well as the Sephora Perfection Mist foundation, so I'll link that video down below if you do want to check it out or see this in action. But I do think I am going to hold on to this. Is it the most user-friendly blush in the world? No. I mean, I almost feel like it's the kind of blush where you have to organize your entire makeup routine around using this, because if you try to go in with it after you've done your eye makeup or your brows, it's very easy to just like shoot in the wrong direction and it kind of get everywhere. Blush is usually one of the final steps in my routine, so unless I think about this right in the beginning of my routine, it's probably not going to get a lot of use, but nonetheless, I still want to hold on to it. It does provide a really nice airbrushed, smooth look to the skin, and it's extremely long lasting, so I do want to hold on to that. Next is one of my favorites. This was one thing that I discovered, I think it was in 2016, that I really fell in love with. It's the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Multi-Stick, and this is in the shade Light Up My Hibiscus. So I don't think of this so much as a straight cream blush or strictly as a cream blush. I think of it more as a blush topper because it has a little bit of iridescence in there. I don't want to say it's like a frost, but it kind of has a little bit of that frosty sheen going on with it. But the reason why I love this is because it gives the skin such a beautiful, okay, now I'm just messing things up. Anyways, it gives the skin such a beautiful like sheen and glow and kind of sun-kissed look without being too red tone. I describe this, I think, as like a stick version of NARS's Orgasm, which I know NARS already has like a stick version of Orgasm, but the problem I have with that shade is that it does lean a little bit too red for me, where I feel like it looks a little bit obnoxious on my cheeks, whereas with this it just is a little bit lighter. It's a lighter tone, it's a little bit easier to blend with other blushes, and it has a very beautiful multi-chrome type of finish. Like as I move it in the light, it picks up shades of peach, of gold, of orange, so it's just so gorgeous. You could use it as a highlighter, you could use it just to give a little bit of glow to your blush, however you want to use it. It's so stunning in the summertime. And then I do have a couple of these Master Glaze Face Studio Maybelline blushes. I think I used to have almost every single color, and now I'm just down to these two shades. And this first one is the shade Coral Sheen. They are very nice and creamy, but you can see they're really easy to blend. And I really do like this color. When you first watch it out, it can look a little bit scary because it has a bit of that frosted finish, but you can see as it blends out, it just has more of a sheen. And then next is Just Pinched, which is a warm mauve-y pink color. Really pretty, and I will hold on to both of those. Next, I have something that I haven't even tried on my cheeks yet, and this is the La Croix & Co. Cheeky Lip, and it's in the shade Cray Cray. I think it's another, I would describe it as a mix of a coral and orange. I'm gonna hold on to it just for the sake of trying it out because I haven't even tested it yet. I can't say this is something I would ever use on my lips because I can tell it's slightly on the drier side, but on the cheeks it might be really pretty. So holding on to that for now. This guy, sadly, I do have to get rid of, although I never even got the chance to use it. I only swatched it a couple of times. I threw it in a drawer, forgot about it, and here we are. Tale as old as time. Anyways, this is the Staniac The Balm. I think it's like a cheek jelly, but I love the texture of it. It's so cool. I love the idea of a jelly type of product because I always find that jelly formulas tend to be very lightweight on the skin. You can see it's like a really nice deep berry shade, and yeah, I don't even know if I would have really liked it as a blush because it is a little bit more on the red tone, but I never even got the chance to use it because it dried up so fast, and I think I only really had this for a year, which to me, I mean, I know that's my own fault for not using it right away, but it should last more than a year, right? I mean, even as a sample, so it just got kind of like dried up and weird, but I would be open to trying maybe a different shade from this collection because I really do like the formula of it. Like I said, it's very lightweight and it creates more of like a cheek stain effect rather than like a creamy blush. So sadly, I am gonna go ahead and just toss that guy out. Next one is one of my favorites. It's the Clinique Chubby Stick Cheek Color Balm in the shade Robust Rhubarb. And it's just a fat, chubby stick like this. There's something so gratifying about like big, chubby sticks. I just love them. I don't know if that sounded wrong, but hopefully you guys know what I mean. It's just like so easy to apply to the skin, and I love this color. It is so pretty and vibrant on the cheeks. This was one of those blushes where I remember when I purchased it, I almost immediately wanted to get a backup. I loved it. Oh my God, here I go again. I loved it that much just because it's so flattering. It's great if you have like an olive skin tone. Something about colors like this I feel like just looks so pretty on medium or olive skin tones. It's just a really nice complement to the skin. This next one is by Milk Makeup, and this is the Lip and Cheek in the shade Perk. It's another one that I probably got in a subscription box, and it looks like this. Now the color itself looks really pretty. It looks like it's already kind of dried up though. I haven't used this guy yet, so I'm just gonna swatch it out. I gotta be honest with you, I'm not the biggest fan of the color. It's a very light wash of like a light peach tone. So it's kind of like a barely there type of shade, which I kind of feel is the whole Milk aesthetic. Like I don't think that their brand is so much about like heavy pigmentation. It's more about like washes of color. I don't know if I'm wrong about that, but that's kind of the vibe I get from the brand. I haven't even tried it out yet, so for the sake of trying it, I'll hold on to it for now. And then lastly, I have this guy, which I know I'm holding on to. It's the Cream Blush Palette by e.l.f. in the shade Soft. And here's a quick swatch of all of those shades. Now you can see the pigmentation on these are, I want to say like a medium level of pigmentation. They're not super light where they're like barely there, but they're also not super deep and hard to work with. And then the texture of them is very lightweight and silky. They aren't greasy or heavy looking whatsoever. To do one more comparison between the NYX ones and the e.l.f. ones, here's a little side by side. So you can see those NYX ones are slightly heavier. Well, not slightly, they're a lot heavier than the e.l.f. ones, but the e.l.f. still delivers a really nice amount of color. I love the shade range in here. Every shade is unique from the next. There's no shimmer, no glitter. This is one that I would highly, highly recommend, really for any age range too, because they're so lightweight and non-greasy on the skin. I think even if you have texture or enlarged pores, these are still gonna look really, really nice. Okay, so here is everything that I am gonna go ahead and let go of for this round. If you guys did enjoy this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up so that I know. And if you're new to my channel, definitely don't forget to subscribe. If there's a cream or liquid blush that you really love and think I should check out, definitely let me know down in a comment below. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.